a medical center where you were flown to. So maybe he's not well to speak the way he's speaking. He's not well. He's using battery. It's not normal. A man who is using battery and a man who has a natural eye, compare the two. So Joseph Boyka, the former vice president, he's using battery. He's a battery total. Such a man cannot even be president of this country. He said, so maybe that the frustration making to speak the way he did, calling the president boy. So Joseph Boyka, the former vice president, he's using battery. He's a battery total. Such a man cannot even be president of this country. He said, so maybe that the frustration making to speak the way he did, calling the president boy. So Joseph Boyka, the former vice president, he's using battery. He's a battery total. Such a man cannot even be president of this country. He said, so maybe that the frustration making to speak the way he did, calling the president boy. How many million people voted that boy? So many millions. Look at this boy and you letter him. Maybe you call Joseph, George boy because of the age, because Joseph Boyka is over 70 and this boy is about 50 something. So when you say boy, well, that's it. But boy in the sense of immaturity, no. George is mature. He's mature. That's why he told Joseph Boyka on the ground where he collapsed to fly here, bro, for medical checkup, for medical heart surgery. That's what made him to live today. I think Joseph Boyka, in conclusion, should be very grateful to that boy who flew in out of the country for open heart surgery that make him to live today. But the way Joseph Boyka speaks, the way he acts, he is one of the 9 ungrateful lepers. The fact is, you could have ignored you, but he did not. He saved this old man. But what the old man is returning is ungratefulness. Call this president boy. You call the whole Liberian president boy, then you old man, you told him battery around here. But I cannot look at a battery man and elect you because any minute you could collapse. But you already say you want to be president and we know your record. You're on the time bomb, on the borderline.
Just sitting and laughing and reading the comment section. John Balo said the reason why he's in this is to save the state. Save Liberia. But Senator Balo was senator when in his county, 5 wonderful Liberians gruesomely murdered. Their bodies were mutilated. He didn't say anything. A colleague who was then a senator, whose name is enshrined in the TRC report, whose testimony you can find everywhere, that allegedly Carol is massacred on the Kawah River, became a senator from in jail. He came from jail. That case died in Maryland. Senator Balo was senator. Senator Balo was senator when Keith Juba was killed. Senator Balo was senator when the Fuller man was beheaded in River G. Senator Balo was senator when the 17 young men were killed between Lower Magidi and Grand Bassa County. Senator Balo was senator when one of the people who funding all of his effort was giving Intergenet Hosmer money and squash car to lobby for him to move on traveling ban and access free. But today, he say he want to save the country. Senator Balo was senator when Bridgeway from London came to do prospect in Liberia. Senator Balo then got vehicle and money.
Balo, that Brian, senator.
He thought of saving Liberia then. Sometimes some people sit on a particular platform, and this is the reason why the argument is going to get big this few times. Because, look,
I don't think I can do this. It's against my faith. I can.
Agostina.
That's the budget he voted for. He's a criminal because he lied at $3.6 million not in the budget. He can't take me anywhere. I defy him. That's a criminal. No, I'm not angry. I'm being forceful. I'm being intellectual. I'm providing facts. No, I said something I didn't mention him, so they don't know I'm a medicine. He has no integrity in life about integrity. He's in the crisis of integrity. He's drowning in the crisis of integrity. He's not only fake. He's drowning in the crisis of integrity. I say he's a criminal. He's a thief. To take a $45,000 car in the budget to vote for it, not just but to vote for it. And you didn't inform the people because say everything you will inform the people on record for that. And he didn't say anything about it. Okay, the pastor didn't vote, but why he didn't say it? Why he didn't say he voted for it? The records are there, Lord. Gentlemen. Senator Delon should be treated as a common criminal for lying to the public that there's no $3.6 million in the budget. Okay, and they said they didn't want it. Where they place it? There's $3.6 million. The money here. The thing is in the budget. There's the final budget. So like they don't tell you when they took it all of a sudden where they put it. I beg you. One question is when they took it out, can you show us where you put your share? That's the question. If they answer that question, come back to me.
We now go over to Robert Tier of the Unity Party.
Yeah, everything I do, we must first tell the thing to the people.
That's what I'm saying.
We've been doing that. We have people cleaning the champagne in our various communities. So, in social science, said, go to people and ask them what the name. And so you posing them to say, I name this. But if you don't ask your people, then what do you carry to them? So before I ask them what the name, And what it means that we're taking to them.
Your 3 major priorities.
Right now, if you look at I'm a teacher in profession.
You teacher?
Yeah, I'm a teacher. The second thing is that we want the boroughs autonomous.
The Boris what?
It's autonomous. It's autonomous. Yeah, it's autonomous.
Go ahead.
And we look at some of the things we want to consider because we talk about autonomous. That means you have a lot of facility, a lot of things that you should do in the borough. And if you are autonomous and you have other things to do, and if you look at the good time, many young people are graduated from college in the district. Right now, the first thing we embarked was to have a reconciliation regional meeting out of the communities.
So Tia, at what level were you teaching? Was it elementary, junior high, or senior high?
We're taking elementary divisions.
Oh, okay.
Elementary division. And we're credible, we are more accessible, and we're development oriented. So
Hello, Robert B. here is the librarian. After our graduation from the elementary school, we keep the Murray Road to attend the junior high school, the Pastor Junior High School, and from there we went to Central High and we graduated 1998. I'm a teacher in professions. Robert here is one of the daughter's son. Robert here is one of the credible sons. Robert here is deserved to be a servant in the district. Robert here is a public servant. I always work at the National Security Agency in Cape County.
I'm filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve.
When you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices? Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries, but there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of 2 executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity, it concluded the complicity. The conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the 2 executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence 30 years prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment, tore his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brandon Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and our prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time of experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2006, Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, prosecutor, appeared before a U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Africa, Defense Exhibit D-404, and spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change in Liberia and what needed to happen to solidify that process. There was little mention, if any, in his testimony about Sierra Leone. And here is what he said. I posit that 5 years from now, when the international community is challenged by other crises, Taylor in Calabar, under the protection of Nigeria, will make his move. We will wake up one morning and watch on CNN as Taylor rides triumphantly down the main street in Monrovia to the executive mansion, daring all of us to come and get him. Unless he is handed over to the special court for Sierra Leone, this scenario is not out of the realm of possibilities. He then asked, how do we assure Liberia's future? And he answers that. Ultimately, he says, what we do about Taylor in the next several weeks will determine the fate of Liberia and the new administration of its president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Crane then sets out several plans, two of which I'll state here. He said, first, hand Charles Taylor over to the special court for Sierra Leone for a fair trial, his kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful Western leaders.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop slipping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much time. I said they lie. The people fool us.
Silence, threat, injustice, ignorance, lawlessness,
that led us to allow the damages,
brutality, whether it comes from the police or sponsored by the government. These are vices, these are attributes that are beclouding our system, beclouding our country, beclouding our government.
You screw us, you use us,
and the people
use us so.
continue to live in abject poverty.
Why?
Development experts will call it extreme poverty. Let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those of you in the diaspora, our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight on a Thursday in Monrovia, the Republic of Liberia. This is Freedom Hard Talk. This is Freedom FM. This is 87.9. My name is Austin Kawah. Just too many things to talk about. Yesterday, we told you that the government has increased. Sorry, did I say increase? That the government has reduced the salaries of civil servants, including military workers and paramilitary workers. And I intentionally decided to delay the posting of that circular until at least 30 minutes or a few minutes to my show. And if you go to my Facebook page, you will see that the circular has been posted. Now the conversation or the argument under that post now is that that only us up here salary being reduced. The people down there, their salaries are not being reduced. But the argument of the conversation is the government has reduced the salaries of civil servants. Those whose salaries are being reduced are also civil servants. And the government indicated that in her circular. No argument. Case closed. Salaries are being reduced.
Now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw it frustrate. The people lied to us. The government betrayed.
So we are closing that chapter and opening brand new chapters. Today, the Rule of Law Caucus
that led us to allow the damage.
Issue a strong statement, and we are going to go deeper into the statement.
The thing we saw it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you lie?
That statement follows
We just tell you.
Utterance or utterances coming from Bon County representatives. Some say reckless, careless, childish, inexperienced, immature, irresponsible, rude, outlandish. Whatever description you want to give the statement coming from a 4-day family of Bon County against the full bench of the Supreme Court, or an associate justice and presiding.
The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us.
I think it's about time that we spend some time discussing those issues.
My people know.
The president has suspended
Telling you, brother. So where are the schools?
the head of NAFA.
Where are the jobs that they said they could afford?
We have the statement and we are going to read for you that statement. Suspending Emma Mante Glasgow of NAFA because we have an opinion about the reasons and the justifications and the references made by the president. The system is vulnerable. The government is crumbling. The people are vulnerable. The people remain struggling. Nobody to speak on behalf of the people. The civil society groups are compromised. I actually meant to say the civil society groups are in silence. The religious groups are compromised. Our religious leaders are all working to the dictates of Joe Baka, and so they cannot say anything. As Baka himself is being puppeted, those who are puppeting Joe Baka are left untouched, unchecked. To milk the system and leave it damaged. But the very few voices will continue to be here. Like some of us to engage the government and engage the system. So let's go into the statement made by Henry Famole, for the Famole, sorry. Let's go into the statement made by the rule of law caucus. They said they are not returning to the gavel of Richard Kuhn, following the clarification made by Justice in Chimba, Yami Kokoe Gbese. Last night we play you that statement from Associate Justice Gbese, and tonight we are going to play you that statement again to set the basis for our conversation. Telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs? This show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia of OMSM Sion and is in partnership with Radio Entertainment Liberia. We ask what the government betray. They have enough of time, but then instead they delay. People suffer. Like I said to you always, we announce the protocol for you to play the cash giveaway. If you play, you win. If you don't play, you don't win. So tonight's code remains the same from yesterday. They said tonight we pay our $10,000 as the minimum and upward. So all you have to do, make sure you have $200 Liberian on your mobile money accounts. Dial *799 *70 hash. The many options will appear before you. Don't waste your time. Select option number 11 for Freedom FM. Did I say option 11? I'm sorry. So you dial *799 *70 hash. You send, and then two options will appear before you. Option number 1 is asking you to will be asking you to play in US dollars, and option number 2 will be asking you to play in Liberian dollars. Whichever option you enter, you send and enter your mobile money password. Indeed, and now you need to deceive us. Making we saw a frustrate us. Again, the *799 *70 hash and send. Select option number 1 if you want to play in US dollars. Or you select option number 2 if you want to play in Liberian dollars. Whichever option or currency you select to play in, you send and you enter your mobile money password. Let's take a break from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. After that, we welcome all of you who join us tonight on the Political Fellowship on radio at about this time. And then we'll come to give you some money and move into our discussion. Or we move into our discussion and give you monies at the end of the show or at the close of the show. It's about music. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, report it. Don't take law in your hand for the right authority. Well, it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human talking, enemy you cheche. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, old man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia. From the center to interior, Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia. From the center to interior, Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crime for all of us.
Okay, thank you very much, Crime Stopper Liberia, for that message. Okay. So let's go. Let's welcome all of you who've joined us tonight on the show. Let's go up and see. Too many persons. Let's hope we can do that in 5 minutes. Jackson Lama from Soul Clinic, Abu Bakar Sharif from Vatan, Gerald Blackie is joining us tonight from New Georgia. Stanley Anderson is joining us from Sinker. William Hoff from Patience Shop. Fatou Bar from somewhere. CDC Pape Success Keita from Dupont Road. Jacob Shuba is joining us from the borough of Nukutan. Alfonso Jr. is joining us tonight from Grand Dide. Alfonso, welcome. Arnold Taylor is joining us tonight from Michigan. In the U.S., Emmanuel Bro is joining us tonight from Minnesota. Odell Gibson from Arizona. Asata Meda is joining us tonight from Soul Clinic. Dubon Hill is joining us tonight from Charlotte, North Carolina. Venetius Bar is joining us tonight from Nukutan. Samuel Corley is joining us tonight as well from Gorbachev community. George Watkins Jr. is joining us from Zone District TD, sorry. Jonelle Moron is joining us tonight. I know Tumete LT is joining us as well. Charles Kamara is joining us. Prosperity Derek Yoki is joining us from Dubai. Elijah Williams is joining us from New Georgia District 13. Lasso Touré. Charles Gray from Kawah. All of you, welcome to the show tonight. Jackson McGill is watching. Jerison Tukpa has joined us tonight as well. Darlington Taylor is following. Mohammed Sharif. Abel Etrich is also joining us tonight. Normal as usual from Magibi. That the way the people set the camera. Somebody say we don't see your face. That the way the people set the camera. To me, I hope you can get the producer out there to come and just make some adjustment of this camera. Please. Unbreakable Key is also following. Sheko. Sheikh is joining us from New Georgia. Sorry, GSA Root of the Daily Digest has joined us tonight from Lokintown. Jonette Mo is following tonight from Ghana. Frank Toomey has joined us tonight from Hong Kong. Elijah Curry from Magibi. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. Jonette or Jonetta? I think it's Jonetta Mo. Okay. Thanks to all of you tonight for joining the show. It's good to have all of you tonight on our voice to play our role as we contribute our quota to national growth and development. So we said to you, let's check and see what's happening with those of you who are playing the cash giveaway. We are going to announce the code to play and then one more time, and then we'll move to our discussion. So tonight, if you want to play the cash giveaway tonight and walk away with $10,000 or more than that amount, all you have to do, make sure you have $200 Liberian dollars on your mobile money account or its equivalent in US dollars. When you have that, you dial *799*70# hash. *799*70# is the short code to play. When you dial that, you send, and Two options will appear before you. Option number one will ask you whether you want to play in US dollars, and option number two will be asking you to play in Liberian dollars. Whichever option you enter, you send and you enter your mobile money password. That's hard. That's it. So let's move to our discussion. Too many things happening tonight. So let's move straight into our discussion. So President Bwaka suspends NAFA Director General February 13. Executive Mansion, Monrovia, President Joseph Bwaka Senior has effective immediately suspended Madam Emma Matthew Glasgow, Director General of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, as recommended by the NAFA Board of Directors, pending further investigation by the Ministry of Justice and the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. In a communication to Mrs. Glasgow, the President outlined the board's resolution, which calls for her suspension due to managerial and financial inefficiencies. This recommendation is in accordance with Section 3.92 of the Act that established the authority. Furthermore, the President also referenced a communication from the Office of the Ombudsman, which recommended Mrs. Glasgow's suspension and investigation based on allegations of insulting behavior. This conduct, considered unbecoming of a public official, was reportedly exhibited during an official investigation meeting. The Ombudsman's recommendation is based on Section 11.10 of the Code of Conduct Act. President Bwaka has urged the suspended Director General to fully cooperate with the investigations in order to address the concerns raised. That's what he says. So, Madam Glasgow is suspended. But there is a portion of this letter that is really interesting that I need to talk about. But just before that, I see a release here from the Workers' Union of NAFA, which I want to also read to balance this discussion because it involves them. They said the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority Workers Association, NAFAWA, extends gratitude to His Excellency President Joseph Yiman Bwaka Sr. for his decisive action in suspending Madam Emma Glasgow, the Director General of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority. This bold step underscores the government's commitment to upholding transparency, accountability, and ethical leadership in the governance sector of Liberia. The decision to suspend the Director General follows serious allegations of corruption and unprofessional conduct, including insulting behavior. Such actions are unacceptable and undermine the integrity of an institution responsible for the sustainable management of the fisheries industry of Liberia. It can be recalled. Okay, let me read verbatim. It can be recorded that the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority Workers Association on May 2, 2024 issued a vote of no confidence in DG Glasgow for being dictatorial, disparities in salaries, wrongful dismissal, misapplication of funds, workplace harassment, among others. The vote of no confidence was followed by a 3-day peaceful go-slow action at the offices of NAFA in July 2024 after several failed negotiations with the board chair of NAFA. The go-slow action was brought to a halt by the intervention of the Labor Ministry. The Labor Ministry cited the Workers' Association and Madam Glasgow to a conference several times, but Madam Glasgow refused to attend any. On September 5, 2024, the Labor Ministry made a default judgment asking Madam Glasgow to adhere to the Workers' Association resolution provisions, which DG Glasgow has vehemently rejected. We commend the Bwaka Kun administration's firm stance against corruption and misconduct, ensuring that those entrusted with public service uphold the highest standards of professionalism and respect. The fisheries sector is a vital pillar of our economy, supporting thousands of livelihoods that entail values of honesty, fairness, and responsible leadership. We encourage the relevant authorities to conduct a thorough and transparent investigation, ensuring mismanaged funds are accounted for. Also, we recommend the investigation and punishment of all management staff who are associated with the mismanagement of funds at NAFA. We remain committed to advocating for the rights and welfare of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authorities workers and pledge to work with the government to promote good governance and ethical leadership within NAFA. And the leadership of the workers union signed this. So before we move into our capital building conversation, folks, let me just say a few things. You see, all of us who did not support Joe Bwaka and who are not still supporting him, there's a reason why we're still having this should I say wrongful conviction about his leadership. The fight against corruption cannot be, should not be, and must never be selective. The fight against corruption cannot be a targeted thing. Let's target those who we inherited in the positions and go after them. Or let's target those who are not close to us and go after them. Sorry, it is a good thing for any government to start making references to the laws, the code of conduct for public officials and all of that. Now, what Joe Bwaka has to understand is, and I think his legal people are not telling him that, the code of conduct is for all public officials. The code of conduct does not cover a particular group of people. So if you want to apply the code of conduct, it has to be applied across the board. The same code of conduct that the president made reference to, citing or quoting the office of the ombudsman for violating the code of conduct and all of that, allegedly engaging into insulting people on the job and all of that, which is a violation of the code of conduct. But there were other violations of the code of conduct that the office of the ombudsman has not spoken about, is refusing to speak about, and nobody seems to care about that, which we have to talk about. The office of the ombudsman has to implement the code of conduct holistically. For example, the code of conduct requires that people who are appointed in government or government officials should not be engaged into politics. Not just that, they should not be, but it is a violation of the code of conduct when an appointee is actively involved into politics. And there are many United Party officials who still hold their party positions. The code of conduct does not accept that. That is a violation of the code of conduct, and they have to resign their jobs. People have said repeatedly, oh, you all have to resign your jobs. You have to choose one. Either you choose your party position or you choose your government job. Or vice versa. Nothing has happened. No action has been taken like the code of conduct, or as in the case of the code of conduct, party officials continue to occupy their positions in violation of the code of conduct. No action is taken. Today, we hear Bwaka say he's suspending somebody because the person insulted on the job. The person is accused of insulting people on the job. So That forms part of the reason or the reasons why she's being suspended. And this issue about mismanagement of government money is something important that it is critical that we have to place enough emphasis on for investigation. When we start to romanticize the fight against corruption, which comes with selectiveness and all of that, then it becomes an issue. Because I see the president is sounding confused here. He wants the Ministry of Justice and the LCC to investigate Emma Glasgow for the same reason. The LCC has similar power that the Ministry of Justice has. The LCC now has prosecutorial powers. So the LCC can investigate and go to court to prosecute corrupt cases. Thanks to the CDC government who granted that power, who amended the LCC law, the LCC Act, and granted them prosecutorial powers. So the LCC can investigate and prosecute. The Ministry of Justice can investigate and prosecute. So Baga has to decide what he wants. And you know, what he has to decide what he wants. Because you want two persons to Jesus, you know, all of that. So Baga has to decide. I have to cut this. I have to cut this thing off. I have to cut this thing off. Is that even working or there's no battery in here? Okay. Yeah, please spare me. Let me switch this thing off. Okay. So Baga has to decide what he wants. So you're sending people to the Ministry of Justice and LCC. I mean, it gets complicated. The person may not even know where to go because the LCC will be calling her, and then the Ministry of Justice will be calling her, and she doesn't know where to go. So, two things: you forward the person to the LCC. The LCC will do the financial aspect of the investigation. If they find any criminal offense or probable cause linking her to criminality, then they turn her over to the Ministry of Justice for prosecution. Okay, you could do it that way. If that's the context of the release, then that is not an issue. But I think Baga is making fun all of the fight against corruption. I don't think he's serious. I don't think he has ever been serious in the fight against corruption. You know, seriousness in the fight against corruption starts from your office. They will start to say you're suspending people that Sylvester Grace paid in for corruption allegation. They will know you're serious, especially when there are cases. They will start to you're suspending somebody like Buju Ben Keita for interfering with the justice system. Then we know Joe Baga is ready to fight corruption. He's ready to promote good governance. Okay, but once those people continue to interfere with the rule of law, continue to support. Even Joe Baga himself is interfering with the rule of law. Even Joe Baga himself is violating the laws. So it has to start for him. Anything outside of that would be a child's play. You know, that nobody should give any credence to. The reality is that they wanted Emma Glasgow out of NAFA. And some of us advised her long since to walk out of that place. The UP that we know, and we've said this on radio time without numbers. And we will continue to say to you, if you are a known sedition, a well-known sedition or supporter of CDC or supporter of Mr. Weah, if you are on record for supporting George Weah, pack your bags and leave the people's government. They will come after you, whether it takes 1 year or 2 years. Trust me, they will come after you. The only reason why people like Reginald Langben still occupying position at Lottery Authority is because James Banning is providing shelter for him. If people like James Banning were not providing shelter for him, at this time they are out of the Lottery Authority. I'm being serious with all of you. The same way you saw Emma Glasgow, it is believed that Emma Glasgow was being protected by Yomli Kanga Lawrence and Darius Dillon. Today, what do you see happening? She's out. She's out. She's being targeted. She was targeted. And she is aware. So to save yourself, hey, go. The guy on some Ghanaian say, away. Pack your bags, go. Imagine the ordinary seditionists who didn't even have jobs for the 6 years George Weah was in power for. They are still sitting down right now, do not even care about Unity Party government and their jobs. They are struggling, selling the kobo, going to do the casual labor jobs, or some selling the weather market and all of that. Some do many things to survive for the next 6 years because they do not want to build it in a mind that, hey, there is a government that is for everybody, and so we are entitled to work. No, they don't see entitlement. They don't see themselves being entitled to government job. First of all, those of you who are the opportunity to work for 6 years as head and deputy head of entities, hey, at times it's just good to let it go. But again, that's it. Probably Emma had her own strategy, that was working her own exit strategy. We may not know, okay? But I believe and I know and I knew that they were coming for her, and not only her. If you are in this government, two things. They might come to you quietly and negotiate with you to resign or walk away and pay you off, or they might come after you. It takes 2 years, 3 years. Trust me, they will come after you. They don't trust you. They are refusing to trust you. They will never trust you. The fact that you wore blue t-shirt with George Weah picture on it and campaign openly for George Weah, don't consider yourself a factor in the UP government. They will not. Cabinet meetings that you go there, they will be very skeptical of your presence. When they see you there, they will never feel comfortable. They will feel uncomfortable when you're present in cabinet meetings or in certain sectors, sectorial meetings. When you're there, they will feel uncomfortable. But what is this man doing here? He's not supposed to be here. Oh, you're still getting me on the job? Probably Joe Biden even knows some people still occupying their jobs. So the day he gets to know you, say, no, I told you to replace the man. But this is it. So let's move into our conversation, right? But I think Emma saw this coming. Like I said, I think she had her own exit strategy. How it worked for, how it didn't work for. And, that's it. But I mean, we knew this was coming, man. So let's go to our let's see what's happening here for those of you. So again, we announce again the cash giveaway for those of you who want to play. The short code is *799 *70#. That's the short code. *799 *70# is the short code to play the cash giveaway. Once you dial *799 *70#, you send. Two options will appear before you. Option number 1 will be asking you to play in US dollars, and option number 2 will be asking you if you want to play in Liberian dollars. So, if you enter 1, you will send and enter your mobile money password. If you enter number 2, you will send and you enter your mobile money password. That's how it works for all of you who want to play the cash giveaway. So, let's go and see. Okay, yeah, we're ready to give you joy. Yeah, we should threshold here. So maybe we'll start doing job at 9:15 or stuff. Okay, so let's move into this. No. Okay. Which one should I play first? Let me play you George Bezos audio first. Okay, so let me play you his audio first. Then I play for the formula. I'll play this one first. So listen to, in case you missed the show on yesterday, I need you to listen to what the Associate Justice, who is presiding in chamber at the Temple of Justice, had to say about their interpretation and what they meant when they issued the ruling and used ultra virus and all of that. He has said to us what he meant and what the Supreme Court meant by that. So listen to him, then we'll play you. What does Fode Famule, a lawmaker, what does he think about the Associate Justice and presiding chamber interpretation? Listen.
You know, some time ago, when we did not turn out for the president address, they begin move of news and the address itself. That was the problem we were trying to avoid getting involved in potential conflict. You remember the conflict going on at the House, the Supreme Court, when they appeared before us. We made a decision, and the effect of that decision was that, look, our law required that the House should have a quorum, and that quorum should be presided over by a speaker. Now that you, the quote-unquote majority black, have a quorum, but we don't see a speaker there. So whatever you do is ultra-viral. Otherwise, it's illegal. We turn to the minority black. The law says, until you can get majority, you get quorum, you continue to adjourn from day to day and compare the other people to join. But there's no statute that tells you how you compare the people. You don't have a rule that tells you how you compare the people. So you two will remain there until you get majority. Whatever you do is ultra-viral. So on the both sides, the Supreme Court clearly saying that go and solve your problem. We don't have law to that effect. We are don't have, we're not in control of politics. If for some reason the Senate decided to recognize majority black, President recognize majority black, and government function is going on, then we receive an invitation from the Speaker. Our question is, our presence there means that we are recognized one side of the black. So the best thing to do was to remain who we are. That was the rationale. Many people don't understand, but that was the rationale of the court.
So now you have gotten the rationale of the code. Now let me ask you a question and see whether before your based on your answers, that's what's going to encourage me to play the recording again. Did you understand what the Associate Justice? Did you understand what he just said? Those of you watching it live and those of you following via the radio, did you understand the recording? Was the recording clear enough to your understanding? Was the recording clear enough for your understanding? Did you hear him clear? Did you understand what he meant? Did you understand the recording? To all of you, did you understand? Yes or no? Did you understand? Because I want to play it for the second time, or I'm going to be interpreting as he's speaking so you can understand what he's trying to say before we move into the discussion, especially by playing for the formulas audio. Yeah? To you. Now, let's go back. Okay, some people say yes, they understand him well. Testimony and say they understand him well. Okay. So,
you know, some time ago, when we did not turn out for the president address, they begin move of news and the address itself.
You know, some time ago when we didn't turn out for the president address, the initial address, it became news more than the address itself.
That was the problem we were trying to avoid getting involved in potential.
So for the Supreme Court bench, that was a common way of trying to avoid or getting involved into conflict.
Potential conflict. You remember the conflict going on at the House,
You remember the conflict going on at the house?
The Supreme Court, when they appear before us,
The Supreme Court, when they appear before us, the Supreme Court.
we made a decision.
We made a decision.
And the effect of that decision was that, look.
And the effect of that decision was that, look, two of you, listen to me.
Our law requires that the house should have a quorum.
Our law, look, you're listening to us here. Our laws require that the house should have a quorum. Quorum in the house, that 37 lawmakers should have a quorum.
And that quorum should be presided over by a speaker.
And that quorum, when you have a quorum, that quorum can only be presided over by a speaker. A speaker.
Now that you, the quote-unquote majority black,
now that you, the quote-unquote majority bloc,
have a quorum.
Now that you, the quote-unquote majority bloc, have a quorum,
but we don't see a speaker there.
But we, the Supreme Court, from our interpretation of the law of how a speaker is supposed to be elected, when a speaker is supposed to be elected, and all of that, from our legal interpretation, we don't see a speaker for your side. We look all in your group. The majority of people will look in your group. We don't see a speaker there. Then that's the thing. He said, for us, from the Supreme Court, we know you see you're in majority, but we don't see a speaker there. Because we, as the lawyers or the interpreter of the law, we know how a speaker is supposed to be elected, when a speaker is supposed to be elected, and we look among your, the majority, we don't see a speaker there. I mean, you're not guest speaker. I mean, you're not legal, but let me hold on. Let me just say.
So whatever you do,
we don't see a speaker. So whatever you do, okay, but small, okay.
And that quorum should be presided over
by a speaker.
A speaker. Now that you, the quote-unquote majority black, have a quorum, but we don't see a speaker there.
We don't see a speaker there, so in the majority bloc.
It's ultra-violent.
So whatever you do, we say, we, now that you, the majority bloc, quote-unquote majority bloc, you've got her, but we don't see a speaker in that majority bloc. We don't see a speaker there. So whatever you do is ultra-virus. In other words, it is illegal. And he said no. He said, so we look in your bloc, your quote-unquote majority bloc. We don't see a speaker there. So whatever you do is ultra-virus. Then he said, in other words, it is illegal. Anything you do in a majority bloc, anything you do in a majority bloc where we don't see a speaker, anything you do there is illegal. It's ultra-virus. It's illegal. Meaning, if you convene session and Clarence Gap preside all that session, it's illegal. If you convene session and Tomo Fana preside, it's illegal. If you convene session, if you convene session and you hold speaker election, it's illegal. Because the majority, we look there, we don't see a speaker there. So you can't do anything. Anything you do is ultra-virus. It's illegal. Listen to what you told the minority bloc too.
We turn to the minority bloc.
We turn to the minority bloc too. We say,
minority bloc, the law says, until you can get majority, you get quorum.
The law says until you can get minority, until you can get majority, until you can get quorum. Until you can get quorum, you should continue to adjourn from day to day. Meaning, if Fonati does not get quorum, he said the law says you can't have session. Fonati can do business if he does not have quorum. Quorum is a simple majority. Simple majority means when you get one whole number, you divide that number into two. When you divide that number into two, then anyone at the over, the salary all of them will go. That person get the majority. So in a many case in the house, they get 73 representatives. When you divide 73 by 2, that's 36, right? We mean one lawmaker will remain. They say the place that one lawmaker will go. The place that one lawmaker will go. That place there get quorum. So anytime that one lawmaker go on, that's how get quorum, make it 37. Because human being divide human being into half. So anytime that one lawmaker remain go, that place becomes a quorum to do business. But if that lawmaker, if that one person go on the other side that does not have a speaker, meaning the two sides can do business because one side doesn't have a speaker and one side doesn't have a quorum to do business. The side that has a speaker does not have quorum to do business. The side that has a quorum, 37, that side does not have a speaker to do business. So two of you can do business. This is his conclusion.
And compare the other people to John.
So the side that has a speaker, he's saying, the law says the side that has a speaker but does not have a quorum, it means the law says you must adjourn from day to day. Today you go, no quorum. You must adjourn. Then you compel the other people to come to session. You go the next day again, no quorum. The law says you must adjourn. And then you compel the other people to come. Once you cannot get quorum, you will keep adjourning and adjourning and adjourning. But listen to him.
But there is no statute that tells you how you compare the people. You don't have a rule that tells.
But there's no statute that telling us how you can or you should compel the people to come join you to form a quorum. There's no rule also that is also telling you how the speaker side is supposed to compel the other people to join to have a quorum to do business.
I don't know how you compare the people.
How you compare the people?
So you two will remain there when they get majority.
So you will remain there until you get majority. Or quorum.
Whatever you do is ultra-virus.
Whatever Funadi does is ultra-virus too. Meaning, Funadi has a speaker, is a legitimate speaker, but he does not have a quorum to do business. So anything he does outside that quorum will be outside his authority, meaning Funadi can pass bill because he get quorum. He can pass bill, they can make decisions because he get quorum. And he can even convene session because he get quorum. So to convene session and start having discussion, deliberation on issues, it will be illegal. That's what he's saying. It will be illegal. So stay exactly where you are to. Anything outside of this, ultra-virus, meaning illegal. Let's go.
So on the both sides.
To the both sides.
The Supreme Court was clearly saying that go and solve your problem.
The Supreme Court was clearly saying go and solve your problem.
We don't have law to that effect. We are done our own. We're not in control of politics. If for some reason the Senate decide to recognize majority black.
So he said we have done our own. We're not in control of politics. So if for some reason the Senate decided to endorse a majority bloc, the president decided to endorse the majority bloc, or decided to do business with the majority bloc.
President recognize majority black, and government function is going on. Then we receive an invitation from the speaker. Our question is, our presence there means that we are recognized one side of the block.
So their presence there means, or who have meant that they have recognized one side of the groups. But because we here the Supreme Court, we do not recognize any side. No side is legitimate right now in terms of quorum. No side, because one side has a speaker, the legitimate speaker, but does not have a quorum. The other side has majority, quote unquote majority, but we don't see speaker there. So we do not recognize any side. So the best thing to do.
So the best thing to do was to remain who we are.
Remain who we are, neutral, independent.
Many people don't understand, but that was the rationale of the court.
The rationale of the court. Now, let me tell you my disappointment in the court first before I go to for the family recording. This is my disappointment in the court. And I said that yesterday, so I'll just run over it. The court should have acted on the bill of information. The court should have heard the bill of information. Because the minority bloc or members of the minority bloc filed a bill of information to the full bench of the Supreme Court. The bill of information was seeking to understand what the ruling of the court was, or what the Supreme Court meant by ultra virus and all of that. Exactly what Yamin Gbese is interpreting or explaining was exactly why the members of the minority bloc ran back to the court and the full bench of the Supreme Court to say, hello, you said something, ultra violent, all of that. They are misinterpretations. So we'll come here to come for you to tell us. Please tell us simply, what did you mean, or what are you saying? If this statement had been transcribed into a one page or one sheet ruling, at this time, I'm very sure the Senate will now recognize Richard Kunsa. I'm also very sure, as dumb-headed as Joe Barker is, he would not have listened to his justice minister, who has lost every sense of integrity and reputation and morality in our society. That other one called Oswald Toy. So I'm very sure. But because the Supreme Court chose to wear silence, that's why we are where we are today. If you ask me to blame the first person on the list for where we are today, even though I know that the lawmakers, which I'm about to go there, they don't know about those are group of useless, those are group of useless people, careless, illiterate people. Yeah, so you can understand, right? But the Supreme Court people should have acted. They didn't act. Now, let's go to the response today from Fode Famude, Bon County representative. And for the record, let me say this: Fode is my friend. People can say, but you really get plenty friends. So yes, he's a friend. He's my friend. But today, I would disagree with him. I can disagree. I told you, right? I said I can disagree with my friends on the issues. Me and my friends, we can disagree on the issues. Yeah, so I would disagree with him. He's my friend, but I can disagree with him. Okay, so let's go to let's hear what Fode Family had to say in response to the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. This is a lawmaker speaking, so I need all of you to pay keen attention. So, the background here is the Rule of Law Caucus had issued a statement which I'm about to read. After the Rule of Law Caucus issued a statement, they went to session and asked the presiding officer, I think it was Thomas Fana, and asked him to include on the agenda, because they were debating the agenda. And he asked the Rule of Law Caucus, he asked the distraction are not necessary, man. You know somebody on the radio and you calling them, I mean, not necessary. It's done. So the Rule of Law Caucus. Please allow me. Let me take this break, please. I'll take this break from Cram Stepper.
There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, report it. Don't take law in your hand for the right authority. That it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see you must talk it. I mean you cheche, you wait for your safety. If you see don't keep it.
Okay, yeah, so I have to go back. So I was giving the background because the audio did not state that. So what is happening here is, after the Rule of Law Caucus issued a statement, they had gone to the session today to request the presiding officer to include on the agenda for discussion the opinion rendered by the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court and the presiding chamber. Justice in chamber. So we saw Representative Musa Hassan Belete made the amendment to the motion to pass the agenda. I'll be ready to vote. If the body or the movement, the man who made the motion, will agree that we admit to the agenda or include on the agenda deliberation on the opinion from the Supreme Court. After that, Yeke also followed up with an unreadiness also to vote. After all of the unreadiness, Representative for the family stood up also with his unreadiness. But before stating his unreadiness, he had this to say about the unreadiness made by Musa Beliti and Yeke Kodobaden from the minority bloc. So let's listen to him.
We will not give any relevant or any legal statement for the associate justice. If someone going to King Jusha and make a legal statement, we're not giving any relevant to it. I'll be ready to go.
So, I'm about to say war for war. So, I'm about to say war for war. The people can call it verbatim. So I'm about to say this war for war, what for the family was saying, in case you did not understand him and listening to the radio or watching the show, in case you did not understand him, this is what he said. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, before stating my unreadiness, we will not give any relevance to any liquor statement from one associate justice. If someone go in at King Juice shop and make a legal statement, so everybody now is calling him to order, including Lower County Representative Judy Fatoma Wia and all lawmakers from the majority bloc. This is a lawmaker and a law school student referring to an associate justice of the Supreme Court as a King Juice sucker.
We will not give any relevant or any legal statement for the associate justice.
Will not give any relevance to any legal statement from the associate justice. When someone go in at King Juice shop and make a legal statement, will not give any relevance to it. Then he rested. Now, before I say what I want to say, let me read for you what the Rule of Law Caucus wrote today. This is a statement by the Rule of Law Caucus on the prevailing situation at the House of Representatives, Thursday, February 13th, 2025. Today, we came to the gathering of our colleagues from the so-called majority bloc and addressed them and informed them that their actions and their continued sitting in defiance of the Supreme Court's ruling delivered by the full bench and properly interpreted by the justice in chambers are illegal. Their persistent disregard for the highest court of our land endangers the survivability of our country, undermines our governance system, and threatens both national and international confidence in our institutions. This continued defiance puts at risk the integrity of our democracy, the stability of our economy, and the trust of the Liberian people and our international partners. We call on our colleagues to respect the decision of the Supreme Court and to work with us toward a resolution that is consistent with the rule of law. As of today, we have resolved that we will no longer sit under their leadership as the court has declared their actions unlawful. Instead, we will continue to work with Speaker Kawah and convene with him as necessary in accordance with Article 33 of the Constitution, which allows us to meet and adjourn in the absence of a quorum. We will maintain this position until our colleagues recognize the authority of the Supreme Court and until the executive ceases its support from their unconstitutional actions. Furthermore, we call on the Senate to honor and respect our Constitution by seizing all businesses with the body that has been declared illegal by the Supreme Court. We also urge the international community, including ECOWAS, the African Union, the European Union, the United Nations, and the government of the United States to refrain from engaging with them. The ongoing crisis at the House of Representatives is not merely a political dispute. It is a direct challenge to the foundation of our democracy and the rule of law. A nation that does not respect its Supreme Court risks descending into lawlessness and instability. We will not stand idly by as the democratic principles and principles that govern us are disregarded for personal and political gain. We reaffirm our commitment to peace and upholding the rule of law. We will not be intimidated or surrender to any group seeking to hijack our democracy. The Liberian people deserve better, and we remain steadfast in ensuring that justice, democracy, and constitutional governance prevail, right? By the rule of law caucus. Now, I'll begin by saying this to all of us. The March term of code, according to protocol, the Supreme Court, let me take water. According to the Supreme Court protocol, according to the Supreme Court protocol, the opening of the March term of court is up. And according to protocol that guards the opening of the court, which is this March, they are expected or they are to invite the president, the speaker, and the pro tem. That is the protocol of the court, the opening of a term of court. And the March term of court will open this March. The Supreme Court that said they refused to honor an invitation addressed by Richard Kuhn, the speaker, because they didn't want any conflict and they did not recognize and they do not recognize him as speaker. So they chose to stay away. Their term is coming. They are supposed to invite the president, the speaker, and the pro tem. The question is, to whom will the Supreme Court address their invitation in the House of Representatives? That's the question. And we will insist on this question until the March term of court is open or is being open, and then we see who will the rule of law, the people who are supposed to, the custodian of our law, the interpreter of our laws, and see who will they officially address their communication or invitation to on behalf of the House of Representatives. Because if you listen to Justice Bassey, he is clear that he recognized and the Supreme Court recognizes Fonanti Kawah as a speaker, but he does not have a quorum to conduct legislative business. That does not negate or change the fact that he is the speaker in the context and reasoning and understanding of the Supreme Court. That's the Supreme Court's wisdom. That's the Supreme Court's rationale. That Kawah is the speaker, but he does not have a quorum to do business. So there's no argument about that. If the Supreme Court is inviting the House of Representatives And considering their latest interpretation, they are supposed to address that invitation to Fanatic Kofa. Because when the court start recognizing a legitimate speaker, but not recognizing a body that does not have the authority to do business, our international partner will start doing business with the legitimate speaker or authority. Recognizing that, hey, even though you are the speaker, but you do not have quorum to do business, it does not change the fact that you are the speaker. That process starts with the court. If the court had even issued this statement before the State of the Nation address, the U.S. Embassy would not have attended that program. They would not have even sent representation down there. But that's another conversation for another day. Pushing forward, you see, let me speak to my good friend Fode. Politics, you see, politics is for mature people. It's a mature game. That's why when I hear people saying, oh, the legislature is a political theater and all of that, then I say, what is the context? What is the interpretation of political theater? Lawlessness, loose talking, loose speaking, just say anything you want to say. That place is for men with wisdom, with strong reasoning. If you can't reason, you are not qualified to be a representative or a senator. You can't be a lawmaker, we can't reason. You can't rationalize. You can't accept mistakes. Well, let me tell you something. With what Downs, they don't lie behavior like in him. They don't got some qualities of a lawmaker. And I can say that. With all his lying thing in him. But even when the man lies there, he can come out and say, I'm sorry, I lie. He admits to error. He rationalizes well, and all of that. So we need those kind of people. If they don't want that, the only reason they don't is not qualified to be a lawmaker because he can lie. And he can intentionally lie. The only reason. And then he's corrupt. But we need people. That place is for people who can rationalize, who can reason, who can critically analyze. People who are respecters of the rule of law. Even if it's going to cost your salaries, you have to be prepared to uphold and respect the rule of law. This is why some of us are supporting and standing with the members of the quote-unquote minority bloc, because they say that's risks everything. They didn't take the salary. Tomorrow, there will be a time where those who are taking those salaries and they are not accounting, there's no record to show that they are accounting for these salaries, they will be made to face justice. If it costs for us to strip them naked and beat them in the street, we will do that because they will account for every penny. That government money, they will account for it. So that's not the point. That place is for mature people. I mean, a lawmaker cannot be insulting. Forget about being a lawmaker. Let's take it as government officials. One government official cannot be insulting another government official for utterance or for interpretation of doing his or her job. The interpretation of the ruling by the Supreme Court is part of Justice Yamin Gbese's job. It's part of his responsibility. He spoke officially. He didn't speak at RLJ. He spoke officially. And imagine a lawmaker is referencing a member of the Supreme Court acting on behalf of the Supreme Court as a king juice sucker coming from one liquor shop and just talk anything. They will not get curious. Any liquor talk, somebody coming from a liquor shop, a king juice shop, and say anything. And that statement was a lie today under the gavel of Rachel Kuhn and Thomas Fowler. This is the quality of our democracy we have now, folks. The quality of the democracy that we wanted. This is the quality of the democracy that we have. Where a lawmaker will stand anywhere, call on a radio show in the morning, and then go to session and repeat it by insulting and the social justice or the Supreme Court bench. This when you talk to tomorrow, they will call it politics. They will say, "Oh, our rule or they will say, "Oh, our rules or our law require that." Oh, you can say anything you want to say in session, and they should not be held responsible. But they say no. When you make reckless statement in session, the leadership, the body can decide what to do. They can decide your punishment. The same when you can put your outside for disturbing. And you can suspend your for 3 months or suspend somebody for 3 months or 2 months or pay. When you make reckless statement that brings the house into public ridicule and public disrepute, somebody can file a complaint or raise a motion for you to be suspended, and that motion will be tried. But again, they say anything, all the thing you're doing down there is ultra virus, meaning it is illegal. So who going on that? But for the family was rude. Let me be frank. Bro, you sleep. Wherever you are tonight thinking, you need to reflect deeply. Yamin basic that your pa can born you. Besides Yamin basic being your pa, he is an elder. He is an elderly statesman. He's an elder in our society. He can born you. He's an elder. He's an experiment. And then he left law school way ever since before he even talk about graduating from high school. Yamin Bese was already a counselor at law teaching. Many of your colleagues who graduated before you. And you allow arrogance. You allow arrogance to put you into making the biggest political mistakes of your life. The biggest political mistake of your life, sorry. That's what you've done. The other day I said this to Fode and Kule. Gentlemen, you're slow down. You're slow down. The country is small jet needle. Tiny country. You may be talking to Yamin Bese and not even considering that you are hurting hundreds of thousands of people because of their connection to Yamin Bese. Even people who were even supporting you before, who used to admire you, based on your utterance today or against Yamin Bese, you have lost some followers. That's how small the country is. You have lost some followers. You have lost some respect. If people respect that, you've lost some. You've lost some friends. People come to think about it. He has children. His children have friends. He has a wife. The wife has family members too. The wife has friends. The friends listening to you, addressing a friend's husband in this manner. Do you think they will have respect for you when you appear in a public gallery? So if Mrs. Bessie is listening to radio and they hear you, a lawmaker, a younger one too, who can even be her son, they hear you addressing her husband in that manner, her friends are listening. How do you think her friends are going to consider you tomorrow when you appear in a public gallery? They're not going to give you courtesy. The kind of courtesy you deserve, they will not give it to you because they remember this is the fully boy who are talking to Mr. Bessie that. Or that the fully boy who are talking to Councilor Bessie that. Amongst your peers, you got something called Law School Student Association, right? But now I don't know why the last has not issued any statement. I don't know why the Bar Association has not issued any statement. I don't know why the AFA has not issued any statement. Look, you don't disrespect your seniors in any profession, and that cuts across. Whether it's a lawyering profession, whether it's journalism, whether it's accounting, whether it's auditing, whether it's what, you don't disrespect your seniors in any profession. No professional person will want to do that. Do you know why some of us can hold our peace in the media with all of the criticism from some of our big brothers? You don't hear us going after them or responding to them? Seniority. We know someone get sad, they can get vexed because we didn't support Baka, or we can be just asking Baka and his government. So they will use seniority, to kind of criticize, come after us. We ignore them. The big brother putting our earpiece, what you call it, they used to go on our post writing. We can't respond to them because they're big brother and they're senior in the profession. Because an attempt for us to respond to them, we might be responding angrily and we might say something that we will start regretting. Then we'll have to go say sorry or apologize. But the apology might not even be strong enough to repair the damage. So the best one we do, we ignore them. Always learn to protect your professional circle. That's a circle that is going to stay with you. That's a circle that is going to protect you tomorrow when you are under attack. That's a circle that is going to recommend you tomorrow. That circle, that professional circle must be protected at all times. That fraternity has to be protected. People are placed in different categories. We have to respect them. All lawyers are under obligation, professional, ethical obligation to respect senior lawyers. How come this my friend goes to law school and is, speaking to a senior lawyer, a most senior lawyer too? Because the heart of your profession is the bench of the Supreme Court. That's the heart. The heart of your profession is the bench of the Supreme Court. The way you see journalists will crave, most now will crave to be maybe president of the PEO or minister of information or presidential spokesperson or head of ERBC. So you want to reach the heart of your profession. The heart of your lawyering profession in Liberia is the full bench of the Supreme Court. When you as a lawmaker start to disrespect the full bench of the Supreme Court, you know what you're doing to yourself as a young man? Tomorrow, you may want to you will not be a lawmaker all your life. Yes, so we serve for 6 years. Add 6 years to your age. 6 years added to your age, where do you go? You want to start practicing with one law firm. You go to the law firm, go say, my man, you bring a boy who are insulting me. Tomorrow the boy will turn around and insult you. Watch and see. They may not politician. So you have to be careful. You have to be able to build and protect your professional network. Why are Foley and Jim Scott allowing their big brothers in the house to use them? My man, you say for the even. My man, you say even. Why are they not speaking? You take microphone and put it to Richard Kuhn's mouth. Richard Kuhn can never describe Yamin Gbese in that form, man. He would never. He's too trained for that one. He's trained for that one. Richard Kuhn will never, ever. Even your colleagues, have you ever heard Richard Kuhn insulting any of the colleagues during the entire classes? Do you know that Richard Kuhn is one of the person who still cuts across and has friends on the two sides? Fully. Go there. Y'all please. Y'all be careful. It's not a warning, it's an advice. Y'all be careful, eh? This country is small. Our politics is short. Our political season is short. Our political season is short. Y'all be careful, eh? You all of us you see here, we have political future. We have professional, long road ahead of us. We can disagree on the issues, but we have to learn not to allow our disagreements to push us into disrespecting people who may be there tomorrow to help us and guide us and all of that, or recommend us for bigger and higher opportunities. I'm saying don't take political side and don't have political disagreements. No. For the win of the extreme, he insulted the bench of the Supreme Court. Do you know that Foley can be disallowed from even entering our court? Eh? Yes. The Supreme Court can stay. I mentioned no. When the day I hear minority and majority lawmakers come here, you sheriff, that man should never enter the conference room. He will not enter. If he enters, they can game change. Enter. At any time he enters that court, they can win for contempt. We see the Bar Association quiet. Everybody quiet because our time hasn't come yet. But the utterance today, oh no, those utterances were rude. You were referring to the full bench of the Supreme Court. And then the question is, where are our civil society actors? See what the country is. The country is doomed. The country is fast running into degradation. Our democracy is the weakest, most vulnerable, most illiterate democracy so far in the world. That's what we are. That's how we are. Nobody trusts anything yet called democracy. It's not working. People are not even. Many people do not even speak freely without being attacked by the state. It is all a bravery that people stay behind, that people are still speaking and still engaging this government. Where are our religious leaders? The Supreme Court has spoken that everything those people did. You see, at times, it's good to dialogue and not allow arrogance to lead you. Because arrogance leading you will always lead you into chaos, into trouble. It is the arrogance of the Minister of Justice that gets us to where we are today. What do we want to? Who do we want to? Today, the media remains the biggest, loudest, and most reliable voice in the country. When the churches are here, the mosques are here, the civil society actors are here, they're still writing proposals and getting funding from the donor partners, but they are here living in perpetual silence. And the state is hitting, is crumbling under a puppet president. And all we see is people taking Joe Barra, they put in the tie, they put SARS on a feet, put clothes on it, put in army green paper, tie red, white, and blue robe all around it, and Ryan say he inspecting too. They want puppet. They carrying so they say, they take the couple them more. And they put a hand on it, they put a hand on it cheek. Yeah, young baby say, drink now. They say, drink some water. Drink some more again, drink some more again. When you finish, just shake hand, tell him thank you. Just shake that hand, tell him thank you. Puppet. We have a president that we are dictating to. And you see everything that's happening. We are being told that another boy has been shot again by police. Somebody just sent me the video. You see the blood oozing off his neck. His toe, sorry. So just forward me the video. Yesterday again, another boy with two, I think 17 or stuff, was shot dead by another police officer. This is the country we have. The country is so lawless to the extent police people don't believe that, or armed carriers believe that the best way of attacking or responding to maybe threat or whatsoever is to discharge live bullets against people who do not even have sticks in their hands. Let's see what the leadership of the House, Honor Councillor Kawah, is going to do. Let's even see what the majority bloc is going to say. And let's see the stance of the action the Supreme Court is going to take. Or let's see what the Bar Association is going to do. Because that man is a lawyer, as I'm told. So you're still under his cover by your own rules. I don't know how the guys from Bonkan, the two better boss from Bonkan, I don't know how they're taking this lawmaker position. And you know what I mean? No two guys, if you follow the story about Colette and family and see how they struggle to make their way to the legislature, which all of us appreciated and supported and celebrated as victories. And think when you follow the history, how they suffer and struggle to get to the legislature, you will not believe that they are behaving the way they're behaving now. I thought you want to ask, is this the reason why the guys wanted to come here? I thought these young guys wanted to come here to effect change. How come we seeing these attitudes from them? How come? No, our generation did not celebrate y'all to go to Capitol building to wear the biggest garment that bears arrogance. Our generation did not send y'all to Capitol. They did not send y'all to Capitol building to go and start insulting the Supreme Court. Our generation did not celebrate you to go to Capitol building to start engaging into bribery, into lawlessness, into violating our laws, disregarding the Supreme Court opinion, disregarding every standard, every ethical standard. The values of our democracy are all being disrespected, disregarded by these two young people with no sense of remorse that there is a tomorrow, or we are here representing a generation that based on our performance, other people might want to trust other people, or some of our colleagues in the same category or generation. We're making our older people proud. We're making ourselves shame. Because the folks believe that, hey, the kind of country we have, don't give power to young people. Don't give big or key positions to young people. Young people are not ready for big positions. We allow the positions to be cloud our sense of reasoning, and we get so arrogant, so emotional, so proud of ourselves to the extent we disrespect our elders, thinking we are in the same leagues with them because we found ourselves in the same space with them. No, because we sit in the same space with people and call each other colleagues does not necessarily mean we are all equals. No. There are things that people have achieved that you are far from achieving. How you start thinking because you love me, because they men love me, because you're there, you're equal now? No. There are people there with experience, achievements, connections, locally and internationally. Professional, local people that with local and international professional connection and experience. There are people in that Capitol building. They are not depending on representative job to have connection, to build connections outside. There are some there who are depending on the position to build connection. In real life, if you are not a lawmaker, you really think State-on was going to be calling you every day on radio talk show to sit down there as panelists or as guests. State-on will not call you. The talk show hosts will not be calling. We were the ones who struggled behind you to promote you. People did not see your quality. They did not see you. They didn't know who knew you. We saw you and decided to support you. People did not see you. You think that they're calling today because you are lawmaker now? You are not lawmaker. They were not calling you. So we have to think. See, Colette running Manor River. You heard of Manor River Youth Parliament here? There were issues. He was always running to us. My man, you got hosting tomorrow. My man, you got Grammy. It's on a 5-minute interview. They feature me in the news. We did all of those things. We supported them. We promoted them. In the crisis, outside the crisis, we did that with clear heart, open heart for them because they were young people and they needed to grow in their advocacy and in their profession, all of that. They needed to grow. So we open up for them. Today, instead of you making us proud to continue to celebrate you, and then you're making us shame. You're insulting the bench of the Supreme Court. In our disagreement here, you're insulting the bench of the Supreme Court, and you expect senior lawyers to sit and embrace you or support you in the name of politics. Even the Bujuben Keita man, who is the legal advisor to the president, the Minister of Justice, will not speak in the manner you spoke to the bench of the Supreme Court. You can do that. You can hang on the cloud of being a lawmaker and you just act, and you just talk recklessly, you just act loosely, and you just talk carelessly, and just address anybody anyhow because you represented. So after 6 years, when you don't have the job, and other people start disrespecting you and insulting you, how will you feel? I used to, there's a guy who was in Capitol Building. He used to be there that before. Fencing with him, very arrogant guy. One time he misbehaved. I said, okay, 6 years not far. He went back, Grand Bassa, they flock him. When you see the person that being, everybody tells that fencing with it, they not work in Bassa or in terms of infrastructure and connecting with people, they will be lying to you, but they beat him. When you talk to most of the people in Bassa, there's a wow for them against them, especially the young people. When they tell you, oh, they make me, they tell you they make it lie, they tell you they make too arrogant. But majority of them will say they meant too arrogant. Today, he's smart guy. He left Capitol Building only because he called his a PSBD that he's too arrogant. They went and voted him out. Today, he's no more lawmaker. Smart guy. Y'all be careful. Colère and family. Y'all be careful. Y'all calm down. Y'all acting too much, oh. Y'all calm down. Y'all listen to me. Y'all don't say I'm told. Y'all calm down. Don't mind those big people in our Capitol Building. They have their connections all around. They have colleagues that they've been friends for the past 22 years, some 15 years, some 10 years. You and Colère just going into Capitol Building. You guys have just started building connection with those people. They will leave here tomorrow. They will not stay with you tomorrow in the midst of classes. And nobody in a majority block will stay with you. They will stay with their friends and their colleagues that they went to school together and they've known for years, for decades. They will not stay with you. You guys will start depending on your colleagues, your peers, who you went to school together, struggle together. How many of them? How many persons you struggle together with to go to school and all of that in your advocacy days? Colère, family, how many persons, young people that you struggle with, do you see in our legislature? You see your peers there? No. You don't see your peers in our legislature. They're not there. Those people will use you. They are using you. They will not stand with you. They don't value you. Don't think that like they let me or they made me chairman rules all over. They didn't let you. They know that they are aware that the dust is not settled yet. They are aware that that place is shaking. So they say, let's put on the minute again nozzle. Let's put them in the iPhone. That's strategy there. They beginning again nose. When they move from behind you, they can call you beginning. Let me tell you, when they move from iPhone you, as soon as session ends, when the man at Richard Kuhn go sit down with a man, a real man, my man, we are beginning flat. Man, you know, my man call could will take on the fight. Call family. Now the men see you, fighters. You guys are like the Mujahideen. The Mujahideen to Richard Kuhn. They don't see you as their peers. You guys are all small brother and the Richard Kuhn. So you're beginning. Behind you, they call you picking. Even you, they call you calling, my man. Behind you, you're picking. You're picking into them. So they're using the picking name. So just say that a lot of people to be using you as picking name, pretending to be your friends, even you, when behind you, they consider you as their picking name, and they are using you to damage yourself while they make money, enrich themselves, build themselves, solidify themselves politically and socially in their different communities. When they go to elections tomorrow, Tifa will move on FOIA again, go somewhere else, get elected, or go to FOIA, spend millions that you two do not have to spend. And they will still be super lawmakers. The money that people at Tifa and Richard Kuhn and work for and play with, you only see 2% here. You take Tifa from Capitol Building now, you go down to your house to sleep. Tifa can go broke. He has raw money. So you gotta be careful. You have to be. I've been calling you for the last 2 days to tell all the things I'm telling you. Probably I will say, oh, we see your number, we see you, you're in pick up. That's why I'm talking on radio than that. Then incidentally, You for the bar, you go to that you talk today. Y'all be careful. That building, all that thing you're doing, the role you're playing is a trap. They're using you against big people, against senior people. And every day you all come out. Every day in capital be in the house, it must be for the family or colère, for the family, colère. And some of the two of you think, oh, you're getting popular. Oh, we're getting popular, man. When you talk capital building, we are the movers and shakers of capital building. We are the movers and shakers in the house. We are popular. You can't make any decision on me and me. I beg you, we are representing Bon County. That's what you think. You think you are representing Bon County. But they are using you. They are using you. I'm aware. I'm telling you. They are using the two of you. Because they want to know that you two are vulnerable. You two are young people, vulnerable too. They are aware that you two are looking, you two are desperate for popularity and fame. They are aware that you two are desperate for popularity and fame. So they will use you. That's why they put your earphone. You can see, as all the radio stations, how many times they have invited Richard Kun to appear on radio. And how many he are turned down. Talk to all, look in your group. Look in your group. And see how many persons are turning down radio interviews. We invite them regularly. Other stations inviting them regularly. Look in your group. All the senior people in your group, they are turning down radio interviews. When they tell you, I see they put microphone. You go. I see you take one from one office, the next office you mean microphone for you. You will conduct 7 to 10 interviews just from your office to enter your session. As soon as you get down Capitol building in a yard, from the main entrance, you walk in from the main entrance to the rotunda, the main entrance of the rotunda. You finish going there about 7 to 8 different interviews. Things that are irrelevant, that you do not even have to talk about. Look at this. Somebody stood on a race on readiness, requesting the presiding to include on the agenda the statement made by Justice Yamin Gbese. The movement was not even you for the family. You are not even the movement. You yourself have your own unreadiness to vote. They recognize you, state your unreadiness. They say, before I state my unreadiness, let me just say this. The House will not accept any legal statement for any king who coming from one liquor shop. What is that? What is that? What is that? You were recognized to make to state your unreadiness. He said, no, before I state my unreadiness, let me respond to Yamin Gbese. You couldn't state your unreadiness and call a press conference and state and respond to Yamin Gbese? Were you forced to respond to Yamin Gbese in session? Doesn't the majority bloc have a leadership? Huh? I mean, y'all be careful. Y'all be careful. Political conspiracy is active in our country. There's no rule of law. Y'all be careful before you start crying. Before you'll be the last to cry. Because the people brother you're interacting with, they can compromise any of you. Any of you. They can compromise any of you for their own political interests. They can compromise any of you. Any of you for their political interests. The dust is not settled. This crisis is beyond Richard Kun and for the family and Musa Belete and Colin. This crisis is beyond all of you. This crisis has grown to a level where it requires now the state intervention. And people that back on the hand have to start adjusting. When that adjustment is taking place, you think people will be considering you people that you better be careful. Now all I can say, I will close on this note. Y'all be careful. Anything else, the justice, the full bench of the anything the full bench wants to do, that one, that's the business. Somebody just posted Bob Barnes story change. See top Liberian journalists running to join the rescue media team. Rescue still got a media team. Okay, so that's it. So let's go to the telephone lines, and speak to take calls. Take calls. Let's take calls and call Aid in Nadia to go home. This person, let's hear you. Hello. Nyati, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. You know, all the laws that are going on in the nation here are playing a Supreme Court. Because they want to explain the law to the country. For them to preserve what case, to not explain the details, they have to go and hang it up. I made family to tell us that, and legal law is treating you. So that all the laws there, I like give family the power to say all things to them.
I agree with you. If they are hear the bill of information, hopefully they will not be calling stupid people. Hello?
Hello, you.
Let's hear you. Thomas.
Yeah, this is Momodu Kamara. Thank you for the talking point. Metaphorically, he only showing his limitation from district number 7. But all I can say, it is abnormal. We got 4 more years or months. You'll be thinking about private citizenship. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take 2 from this side, 2 from this side, just like that until we can go home. So 2 here. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening to you.
Yeah, how are you, Austin? Thank you for the show.
I'm okay. Thank you.
Welcome. John from New Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, listen to all your talking points, especially among classroom. I did hear her this afternoon. She was called back, Julius J, and she said she didn't know anything about what was happening. Nobody called her. No letter was written to her concerning a suspension. She was like in a surprise mood. That how could this happen? That I don't know anything about it. You know, it makes me feel really bad because this woman is one of those who are trying to raise up that entity. For her being suspended without her knowledge, that speaks volume. But I will say this concerning the impact at the house. What really went off, I don't think it's something that we should be playing around. I think we should just drop everything and see what God will do, because this thing is just like, you know, it's something that we can't really talk about, because looking at it, how it started, how it's moving, you know, look at the Supreme Court. They would have spoken about it for a long time. They didn't speak about it.
I agree.
Look at when they are speaking about it. Even though it's not late, but they had the minority black up and down. They joined the house. They decided to join Richard Kuhn. They had to leave, come out again, made another statement. It's just in confusion. So it's saddening. But I think God will take control, like you. That's what I can say. Because this government, what is happening, many of us are sick and tired, but we can't get out. It's just like you are trapped. Thank you, Austin.
Welcome. Let's hear somebody else. Oh, no. Hello?
Yeah, how are you, brother?
I'm okay. Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, I just want to say that the advice you are giving to your brothers, Kule and family. Let me just give you a little parable. Mosquito left and went to walk up wall. When you went to walk up wall, start passing around the pool there, the pool missing it with those strapping thing. Mosquito left, went by the oil, so Mazi, Mama, and the community are finding for just clapping from all over. Monsieur man said, no, the people are clapping for you. The people they are trying to get rid of you. So you to the one is quite sufficient. Now, brother, be careful. Your name ringing, and I don't say you are doing the best thing.
Yeah,
That your name ringing for.
That's a nice one. So you want name ringing? You say we're popular. The people love us. All the radio stations are calling us. Oh, we are getting interviews to all of the media people. All the legislative reporters want to talk to us. So we are popular. We are famous. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Okay.
Let's hear you. Hello. No, I'm not getting you at all. You are coming in.
Hello?
Okay, go ahead. Oh, no. Hello. Hello, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Roger Kazulu from Bro.
Let's hear you, Kazulu.
Yeah, quickly to the issue. You know, it seems to be a total disgrace to for the family. Because as a Kematinian, for one to originate or emanate from that background and come down far to become lawmaker, the full family make not just a Kematinian machine. You don't know where your extension of not just expression so to extend.
Yeah.
You say you call yourself one who decides to learn law and pursue law, and what are you? You don't know that being in the national legislation, any law that you make what is based upon judicial review. Those are people then that can tell the Liberian people or whether your law is constitutional or unconstitutional. One fully family then know and what I can't believe then it is. I have to believe that the executive is the one that not join and will feeding those people.
It's not a belief, bro. It's a reality. The executive has endorsed the people's actions, so that's the reliance.
Yeah, and saying that it's bad, but say for me, so that of that particular branch, fully family and his family there, and that of living love just from love just from country there, they will always say before the law should be here then in the country, and 2029, all for the city lawmakers that have brought the country to disgrace in the form, we should put them on one sample so that everybody can vote against it. They're not serious, and then they're not in the interest of the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see. I don't know whether she wants to participate, but I'm not. I'm taking 2 more calls, and then I can go home. Let me talk to Madam Williams. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening to you, ma'am.
I've been following your expose and deliberation regarding the training issue in the country, and then with the president being in every angle of what we're talking about. And for the lawmakers that are in defiant with the law always, for the family and whoever, James Kohler, these people, they just feel that they are older, and they are not older people. After the 6 years, even they go 12 years, there's still life after politics. So they should know that if you're in a glass or you don't throw stones. With the judiciary branch, they are just beating around the bush, but everything that they are doing is not lawful. They just wanna pretend. The time shall come that you see them full swing, supporting every aspect, because Joseph Boga is in the know of what is going on. There is nothing that he's not aware of when it comes to Fonati Kofa issue. And he's the legitimate speaker in the house there. The other one is law enforcement. So we are watching closely, and we know that these issues, history will judge them in time to come. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, ma'am. Thanks for joining the show tonight. That's all the time we have to spend with you tonight. Tomorrow is Friday. I told you we are making the necessary adjustments. Once we are concluded, there will be no holiday for us on a holiday, and there will be no holiday for us on the Friday. The Fridays will be busy.
We tire with the promises that
Having said this, let me say thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. Whether it's via the Facebook Live, via the online radio, or using your manual radio, whether it's a telephone or whatsoever. To those of you who call in, thanks to you for calling in. We shall be back here tomorrow by God's grace. Until then, do have yourselves pleasant moments in your respective areas. Austin Kawah is the name.